To Celeb Stopover on your favorite station. My name is Ife Ajagbe, and you know that on this show we bring in celebrities. The person I have in the building is an A&R professional, and in case you have never heard that expression before, I'm not even, I don't have a grouse with you. It's fine. This is where we'd actually get you informed and educated. His name is Harry Okoh. Harry Okoh, if you've been in the broadcast industry for, I don't know, I've spent 11 years and he's been around before me. So if you've been around the broadcast industry for that long, at least you know who he is. He has probably sent you music before. So what's up with you, Harry? So great to have you on the show.
I'm good, thank you. It's a pleasure to be joining you on this beautiful platform.
Thank you very much, Harry. So let's start off by defining terms. Let's talk about who an A&R person is, really.
Okay, so first, the meaning of A&R. A&R means artist and repertoire. And in plain English, it basically means quality assurance for recorded music, typically popular music. Now, an A&R man is a guy who wears multiple hats, 3 hats at the least. He's a tastemaker, he's a talent scout, and he's a curator.
Okay, fantastic. So now, I know that you have worked with a number of artists over, how long has your career spanned? 20 years maybe?
Well, officially 13, unofficially 17.
Okay, but before then you were an entertainment writer.
Yes, I was a critic more like, I wouldn't say entertainment writer, music critic.
Okay, music critic more like. Okay, which made it okay for you to, get into actually?
Yes, because usually people who do A&R come from different backgrounds, and some of them usually have a background in, music journalism, but most typically DJs and sound/recording engineers and producers.
Okay, so a lot of, I don't know, these days, let's move from when you started to now, that is 2020. A lot of times people just release music, I'm not even sure sometimes if it's mixed and mastered, and then carry this song and say, oh, Ife, please help my career. And then just dump it in my mailbox, basically. So I am not sure that they even passed through anybody. Like, I think they just came in straight from the studio because I'm probably getting a WAV file that I can't play. You get so what is it that you think artists should do differently now?
Well, truth is, the game has changed. Technology has democratized how music is not only distributed but made and consumed too. So I guess that's the reason why you have random people sending you stuff. But at the end of the day, you still need to make good music. As subjective as that term is, good music, there's some science, or should I say some art to it. So it's that art that should be mastered by the artist.
Oh, okay. So now you've worked with a number of artists, I can't even count, Maui, Bears, maybe the whole of EM crew at some point, and Extreme Music and their artists at some point and all of that. So in all of your experience, what do you think that, is the advantage of artists being on a record label, on, an organized team?
Well, now let's make it clear. A record label is, an entity that specializes in taking artists from where they are to finished products. In this part of the world, we might not have record labels in the sense of the word, but we do have a few, I admit. We have a few, but most aren't really record labels. They're just music platforms, So record labels still have a role to play, but they don't have to play them as record labels. You might just have a team of people with certain expertise to do, different functions for you. So that way you sort of have a team that does what a record label typically does without the whole umbrella of record label covering, what they do. So you still do need a team.
How does an artist that makes great music, create a balance between making good music and actually selling out and, making money, making great money at the same time. Sometimes they are mutually exclusive.
When I said you need a team, what I actually mean is you need a team of experts in the various functions that make an artist, an institution, a brand. So while you need A&R people, you need publicists and marketing people, then you also need a manager who knows his onions. But as an A&R person, my primary responsibility is to make sure the artist has recorded music, that will more than meet his expectation. All things being equal. So I really wouldn't be able to speak about monetizing what they do. Instead, you will need a professional artist manager to speak on that part.
So at this point in time, Harry, why does any artist need an A&R person?
Well, you need an A&R for quality assurance.
Yeah, well,
you need maybe
they have some very critical friends that are very honest with them, that will tell them what's up with their song. So why bother? Why say, I want to pay one karaoke because it's an OG?
Well, let me be honest. You might not exactly need an A&R, but you need someone to do that function for you. Now, the problem with having family and friends do it for you is that family and friends are predisposed to making you feel good. Yes, they'll be honest in some cases, but they will not be as they'll be, how will I put it? They'll be rather emotional in their honesty, if I may put it that way. So they won't quite hit the nail on the head the way they're supposed to. And also because it's opinion coming from family and friends, it's quite easy for you to discountenance it, especially when you believe music better than they do. So it's very easy to discountenance it, but quite honestly, you actually don't need an A&R. If you are a perfectionist and you are someone who listens broadly, listens wide, and you are someone who's very sensitive, you could actually do your own A&R. But trouble is, it takes time to acquire all of these qualities, a long time actually. Then it also takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of discipline, to acquire all of these qualities. So you might not have them like now. It might take you years later before you have them. So that's the reason why I think, it makes sense, professional sense, to have an A&R professional listen through your recording and then give you tips on, what you could do better, or better still, what you need to stop doing.
Okay. In the Nigerian music industry, we've actually seen artists that took some sort of retirement or went into other businesses completely. E.g., LD, Waje is not sure she wants to stay, and a whole lot of others. Is music really lucrative? I mean, there are a ton of people that still want to sing. Is it really something worth leaving everything for?
Yes, it is lucrative, very lucrative. But now the challenge is, are you the best at what you do? Then after you answer that question, hoping that you answer in the affirmative, are you going about it the right way? When I mean the right way, creatively. Then finally, are you disciplined?
I thought all that there was partying and having fun. Like, what discipline do you need?
Basically, as in sticking to, as in the routines that, make you a professional. I'll give you a fine example. There's this routine called WRR, write, rehearse, record. As a professional musician, recording artist, you must do this every blessed day of your life. As long as you are conscious, you are in good health, you really must write, rehearse, and record every day. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean you write a full song. It doesn't also mean you do your rehearsals at some studio, and it doesn't mean you must record, as in like a professional recording. But you must be able to do a bit, if not all of this every day. It takes a great level of discipline, to do this. I always use the example of footballers. I don't know if you follow football a lot, but there was this COVID-19 induced break, and there was no football anywhere for at least 3 months. But they recently resumed. I mean, starting with the Bundesliga, that's the German league, and now the Premiership. Have you noticed that none of the players arrived overweight? And yet they were at home all through lockdown. Yes, and these guys are very well paid, so they can stock up on everything in the world, every edible in the world. And I'm sure the ones who have celebrity wives have this big, massive kitchen with a huge fridge that they'll stock with, all of the brands that they've endorsed. And you imagine those same guys arrive on the field as the last time they played, sometime in March. So that's the kind of discipline I'm about.
In 2020, let's talk about the new age artists. What is their starter pack? What do they need to actually kick off in the music industry? I know some people have not even recorded a single, it's just in their head, but they know that it's music they want to do. How do they start? What do they do? What do you advise?
I advise that they should know their music and master their craft. Yes, I know it's generalistic, assuming such a word exists, but I think it's very important. Know your music, master your craft. There are too many of them who, know their music based off of what they hear on radio and what they watch on TV. And I'm like, yes, well, while that's good, it's not good enough. It's insufficient. That's the word to use. Then mastering your craft, as in there are a whole lot of them who, besides recording, in a studio, don't have any idea what it's like to, host a great show, give a good performance, a great performance, because a good performance won't cut it. To give a great performance, they just get on stage, hold the mic, and think, they can swag it. And in my head, I'm like, Chairman, as in you're paid to sing, you're paid to actually give a performance, of which singing is like the central part of it. Can you please give a performance? So a lot of them don't know. They think their attire, whatever they're wearing is part of the performance. Yes, but it's not the major part. You need to give a performance. But first, like I said, know your music, master your craft. These broad statements will take time to achieve. And that's what the new generation don't want to hear. They want it now. And I'm like, well, you really can't have it now. It's not because there's anything wrong with having it now, but it's near impossible. You need to be a genius. Even geniuses need time to perfect it. So as in, cue the haste. And no, you won't die next year. As in, you might live to a very long life. You might live to be 100 and in good health. Because I always give the example of an artist named Chuck Berry. I think he passed away. He's a famous rock and roll. He's a rock and roll legend. He passed away maybe 2-3 years ago at the age of, I think, 91, 92. Now, guess what? That gentleman performed up till a year before he passed, meaning he performed into his 90s. Yes. Wow. This is someone who started his career in the 40s. Oh, yeah, so do the math.
Wow.
That's 60 or 70 years of performance. So as an artist, you first know their music. And when I mean know their music, I have to emphasize this. Music has become, honestly, in Nigeria, that is, has become very one-dimensional. I mean popular music, though. I'm not generalizing all genres. Popular music has become rather one-dimensional. The Naija pop, the Naija sound. It's good, it's great. That's the reason why we are making waves everywhere. But they should understand that there are so many other genres that are just as compelling, just as addictive, just as exciting that are not Naija pop. I'll give you a fine example. The recently deceased Majek, Nigeria's reggae icon. For the period, the week after he passed, a lot of the radio stations who typically play, as in new school music, started to play a song. And I noticed something. The OAPs on duty, on those shifts when they were playing the song, usually youngins, when the songs finish playing, they have something to say about them every time. And these are songs that Majek released 30, 25, 30 years ago. And it makes it mean that just do the music, make sure it's great music. I don't care what genre it is. Make sure it is great music. Because I keep telling people that as much as fast food, are attractive because they are quick to make, quick to consume. They don't need utensils. They don't even need plates. But trust me, if you meet some home cooking that is great, you will take the time to have it and savor it. As in, even when you are presented with, a big giant sized pizza. So that's how it is. So know your music, master your craft. Like, quite honestly, I tell a lot of times when I meet young artists, new school artists, I let them know that, see, you must put in as much work with your performances as you put in with your recording. Meaning, you have to be just as creative with your performances. Just imagine anything, as in once it's different, once it's something that wows you, then you might think about bringing it to fruition with a performance. So they need to understand that these days live performances will be, in fact, the rockers have been doing it for at least half a century, going on the road 330 days in a 365-day year. It tells you the power of live performances, and these rockers give a great show every time. It doesn't matter the audience, it doesn't matter the venue. They give a great show every time. And like I said, if you can imagine things that blow you away, when you think about them, you need to go to work and try to bring it to reality. So live performance, yes, you also need to have your signature style of performance, meaning there's something you do or there's something you bring, that marks you out, but you must be creative, you must be inventive. You need to be as inventive with your performances as you are with your songwriting and your recording.
How did you build your network with OAPs on air personalities across Nigeria? Like, I have to say this quickly, Harry has the contact of at least one or two OAPs in every Nigerian radio. I don't know how he does it, but like, how?
Honestly, I don't even know how I do it. I just know that I'm a very curious person, and I like to meet people. I don't get tired of meeting people, honestly. Plus, sometimes I just feel, why not make a friend somewhere, just in case something takes you there and you need, you need some sort of help. So that's why. But I admit it has taken time. It has taken all of 15, 16 years to build, those contacts. Yes, it's been painstaking, not just, as in it's been painstaking, meaning I had to also service those relationships to the point where they trust me. And now, that in a country like Nigeria, that takes an effort. So I've had to put in a lot of work in those relationships. Then finally, I guess, the man upstairs too has been kind to me. Because let me tell you one of the reasons why you don't see my face anywhere. So I'm not the greatest looking guy. I don't know what you think, but hey, that's what I think. So, and I'm also, I have this menacing look. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't even want to meet them, in person. I want to only meet them after I'm convinced that they like me enough not to be shocked at what I look like, in the flesh. So that's how I manage to view it. You're laughing, it's true now. I've just told you the truth. It even applies to you if you don't know.
You know why I'm laughing at you? As in, every time you say that, excuse that expression of, oh, I'm not the greatest looking person, I look at you and I'm like, Dude, like I don't know. Thank God you are not judging a beauty contest. You won't be able to judge properly. You are going to call the most beautiful person ugly. Oh, you're a bad judge of me. Please, let's just leave it at that. Oh, thank you very much, Harry Okoh. It was great having you on the show.
It has been my pleasure. I will do this again in a heartbeat.
Oh, I'm blushing. I'm blushing. Thank you. You've been listening to Celeb Stopover on your favorite station. My name is Ife Ajagbe. Today we had Harry Okoh. And if you really want to make music, I'm sure you got a little more information about why it is important that there's somebody that actually works on, checking out your music and seeing whether it would fly. Yes, and if it would stay around for a very long time, like if we have continuous hit, you wouldn't be, a one-hit wonder and just disappear. Yeah, something like that. That's what people like Harry Okoh do. That's A&R, artist and repertoire. My name is Ife Ajagbe, and thank you very much to my amazing team. And that's starting off with Deji Plug. Deji Plug is the publicist for this show. Big shout out to you. And T. Unbeaten. I'm always confused with his name because his name is T. Unbeaten, really. And you can follow him on social media at I am unbeaten to, get him to produce a song for you. Is the sound person for this show. Also, big shout out to the video editor, and that's talking about Dale Greenix. Shout out to you, Dale Greenix. You can check out this video on YouTube. Subscribe to the Celeb Stopover YouTube channel to actually watch the full video if you missed any part of it. Thank you very much for joining, and those of you that joined, thanks a lot. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Thanks a lot. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy a wonderful afternoon. Bye.